Stillness is not a luxury, it's a requirement. If you're waking up and jumping straight into your phone, straight into your inbox, straight into other people's noise, you're not just losing time, you're losing yourself. Because in those first few minutes of the morning, your mind is wide open, receptive, vulnerable, programmable, and if you let the outside world rush in before you've grounded yourself internally, your entire day becomes reactive instead of intentional. You're not supposed to respond to life the second your eyes open. You're supposed to lead it. Stillness isn't laziness. It's not you sitting around doing nothing. Stillness is you reclaiming authority. It's you deciding, before I do anything for anyone else, I'm going to check in with me, my thoughts, my peace, my purpose. The most successful people don't wake up rushing, they wake up on purpose. Because stillness isn't quiet, it's powerful, it's where clarity lives, it's where direction starts, and if you want to master your mind, you have to learn how to shut out the noise long enough to actually hear yourself think. The reason so many people feel overwhelmed isn't because their schedule is too full, it's because their mind is too noisy. There's no mental clarity because there's no internal space. Everything is go, go, go. Everything is input, everything is someone else's voice, and when you don't have a moment to get still, you end up living someone else's story. Here's the truth, stillness gives you access to your own thoughts. Not the ones Instagram is feeding you, not the ones your coworkers or clients are demanding, your actual, original, aligned thoughts. And if you want to build a life, a business, a career that reflects you, you have to make room for those thoughts to exist. Let me be clear, you don't need an hour of meditation, you don't need the perfect journal or a candle, lit routine, you need 5 minutes, 5 minutes of no scrolling, no talking, no multitasking, just you sitting in silence deciding to be present. Because if you can't be still, you can't be focused, you can't be strategic, you can't be the kind of leader who sees the next step, you're just spinning, responding, reacting. Stillness resets that. It brings everything back to zero. It puts your nervous system back in check. And more than that, it teaches you that you are in control of your state, not your inbox, not your calendar, you. It's in stillness that you realize what actually matters. It's in stillness that your next idea shows up. It's in stillness that your creativity has room to breathe. But most people will never get there because they're addicted to noise, to movement, to reaction. And that addiction is costing them their peace, their time, and their ability to make clear decisions. You want to lead a team, be still first. You want to scale a business, be still first. You want to have energy for your day. Be still first. Stillness isn't just a practice, it's a discipline. It's uncomfortable at first. You'll want to check your phone. You'll think you're wasting time. You'll feel unproductive, but over time, you'll start to crave it. Because in that stillness, you'll hear your intuition again. You'll feel your vision come back into focus. You'll breathe and actually notice your breath. You'll get grounded, and that groundedness will carry you through the chaos that's coming next. Because let's be honest, chaos is inevitable. The emails will still flood in, the pressure won't disappear. But when you start your day in stillness, you've built a solid foundation. You're not reacting from anxiety. You're choosing from alignment. You're not panicking. You're prioritizing. You're not just surviving the day. You're running it. And here's the crazy part. Most people won't do this. Most people are in such a rush to be productive that they skip the one thing that would make all their productivity mean something: clarity. You can move fast, you can work hard, but if you're going in the wrong direction, what's the point? Stillness realigns your direction. It reminds you who you are, what you're here to do, and how you want to show up. And that's what mastery is. Not control over everything around you, but mastery of what's within you. So tomorrow morning, try it. Don't check your phone, don't turn on anything, just sit, breathe, feel your thoughts, let them rise without judgment, and then ask, what do I want from this day? How do I want to think today? Who do I need to be today? Because the moment you answer those questions, you've already taken control of your mind, and that control, that clarity, that's how leaders are made. Focus is a skill. It's not something you're born with, it's something you train. And in today's world, the ability to focus is more valuable than almost any degree or talent you can list on a resume, because the world is full of distracted people, people who jump from task to task, idea to idea, moment to moment, without ever finishing anything. And that's not because they're lazy. It's because they haven't trained their mind to stay still long enough to concentrate on one clear outcome. If you want to be exceptional at anything, you have to learn how to hold focus. And the best time to train it, the first thing in the morning. The way you begin your day is the way you train your brain. If you wake up, scroll for 30 minutes, check 6 notifications, read 5 headlines, and switch apps 20 times before even getting out of bed, guess what? You've already trained your mind to be scattered before you've even had your coffee. You've programmed yourself to jump, not focus, react, not lead, but it doesn't have to be that way. Training your focus isn't complicated, but it is intentional. You sit down in the morning with a pen, a piece of paper, and a decision to tell your mind where you want it to go. You ask yourself, what do I need to focus on today? What is the one thing that matters most? What's going to move the needle? And you don't just think it, you write it, you see it in front of you, you take 5 minutes, just 5, to claim your focus before the world tries to steal it. This is the difference between reacting all day and executing all day. Most people let the day happen to them. Focused people take charge of their day before it begins. They don't wait until things feel urgent. They decide what matters before the chaos starts. That's what it means to train your focus. It's not about having perfect attention all day. It's about having a clear priority and protecting your mind from being pulled away from it, because there's always going to be noise, always going to be distractions. Your ability to master your focus comes down to how well you filter the noise. And that filter gets built in the morning. If you sit down and take 5 minutes to visualize your most important outcome for the day, you're already ahead of 95% of people, not because you're smarter, but because you've trained your mind to focus on what matters before distractions show up. And yes, this is training. That means it's going to feel hard at first. Your brain will wander, you'll want to skip it. You'll think, this isn't working, but that's exactly the point. Training doesn't feel productive at the beginning. It feels awkward, but over time it becomes your standard. You stop rushing into the day with 20 competing thoughts. You stop wasting the first hour of your morning in confusion. You walk into your day with clarity, knowing exactly what your mind needs to focus on and what to ignore. Let's be real, focus is your power source. Without it, you're drained by noon, you're making 50 decisions you don't need to make, you're reacting to 100 things that don't matter, but when your focus is trained, you become untouchable. You don't need motivation every 5 minutes because you've already decided where your energy goes. You've made the decision to show up and execute on what matters. Here's a simple practice every morning. Ask yourself this one question: if I could only do one thing today, what would make the biggest impact? Write the answer down. Say it out loud, and then build your day around that. That's how you train your mind to focus, not by trying to do more, but by deciding to do what matters most on purpose every single day, and don't just stop there. Remind yourself throughout the day, recalibrate, come back to your focus every time you feel pulled in 100 directions. That's what pros do. They don't avoid distractions, they train through them. They build the habit of coming back to center, coming back to their highest priority. That's focus, that's discipline, that's how mental mastery works. Your brain is listening to everything you do. So when you choose intentional focus first thing in the morning, you're not just organizing your to-do list. You're shaping your identity. You're telling yourself, I don't chase every notification. I don't say yes to everything. I do what matters. I finish what I start. I stay locked in. And eventually, you don't have to try so hard. Focus becomes automatic. Your mind starts looking for priorities instead of distractions. You don't waste energy deciding what to do next. You already know. That's the result of consistent focus training. Power, clarity, momentum. You don't need a productivity app, you need a focused mind, and that starts tomorrow morning. Pen in hand, 5 minutes, one question. What matters most today? You cannot master your mind if you're ignoring your body. The two are connected. You can't have mental clarity if your body is sluggish, stiff, or underused. Your physical state sets the tone for your mental state. So if you want to build discipline, focus, energy, and confidence, you start by commanding your body every single morning, not when it's convenient, not when you feel like it, but as a non-negotiable. Your body needs a leader, and that leader is you. When you wake up, you have a choice: stay comfortable or get uncomfortable and take control. Most people roll over, hit snooze, scroll their phones, and wonder why they feel foggy all day. They never move with intention. They never send a signal to their nervous system that they are the one in charge. But when you get up and move, even for 5 minutes, you're sending a message: I don't follow comfort, I lead with discipline. This is bigger than fitness. This is about self-respect. You are proving to yourself every morning that your feelings do not run the show, your standards do. And when you start moving with purpose, everything in your life starts aligning. Your energy shifts, your confidence builds, your clarity sharpens. You show up differently when your body is active, strong, and awake. You don't need a full, blown workout to command your body. That's not the point. It's not about burning calories, it's about proving that you call the shots. So stretch, walk, breathe deeply, do a round of push-ups, get your heart rate up, feel your muscles activate. Do something that wakes up your nervous system and reminds you, I'm alive, I'm in charge, I'm here to move. Because here's what happens when you start your day with movement. Your body wakes up and your mind follows. You increase blood flow to the brain, which sharpens your cognitive function. You release endorphins, which boost your mood and energy. You reduce tension and stress, which means you're not walking into your day reactive and overwhelmed. You're entering it composed and empowered, but most importantly, you're keeping a promise to yourself. And that's where the real power is. When you do something hard, something that requires effort, first thing in the morning, you're creating evidence that you follow through. You're creating a track record of self-trust. And self-trust is the foundation of every single thing you want to build. You don't build confidence by reading quotes or talking about goals. You build it by doing the thing you said you would do, especially when it's uncomfortable. Commanding your body is how you build momentum. It's how you shake off the excuses, the fears, the doubt. It's how you become the kind of person who doesn't just think about goals but shows up for them. Let's be honest, most people are stuck in their heads, overthinking, overanalyzing, spinning. They don't need more thoughts, they need movement. They need to get out of their heads and into action, because action clears confusion. Action builds clarity, and action starts with your body. You're not waiting for energy, you're generating it. And when you take command of your body, you take back control of your life. It doesn't matter how big the movement is, it matters that you chose to move. That you told your body, let's go, and followed through. That's where your edge comes from, not from talent, not from luck, from the repetition of discipline. And once you build that edge in the morning, it shows up everywhere else. You walk into meetings with presence, you tackle hard tasks with energy, you speak with authority because you started your day in alignment, mind and body working together, not fighting each other. You think clearer. You work harder. You respond better because you didn't let your body sit in a state of weakness or indecision. You moved, you acted, you led. Now here's the truth most people don't want to hear. If you neglect your body, you're also neglecting your potential. You cannot separate your physical discipline from your mental discipline. You either have both or you have neither. You want mental toughness, start with physical action. You want stronger habits, move first. You want to stop second, guessing yourself all day. Prove you can keep a promise to your body first thing in the morning. This is not about perfection. This is not about doing the most. This is about showing up on purpose. So tomorrow morning, I want you to move. Do not negotiate. Do not delay. Do not scroll and waste your window of power. Stand up, stretch, breathe, walk, sweat, lift, jump, move your body in a way that tells your brain, this day belongs to me. You command your body, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Because every time you move with intention, you are mastering the art of showing up. You are creating the identity of someone who leads, not lingers. And if you do this consistently, if you move when you don't feel like it, if you act before motivation shows up, your body will start responding with strength, your mind will follow with clarity, and your life will reflect that discipline. So stop waiting, stop wishing, start moving, because if you can command your body in the morning, you can command anything the rest of the day throws at you. What you say matters not just to others, but to yourself. Your words shape your thoughts shape your actions, and your actions shape your outcomes. So if you want to change your life, if you want to build mental strength, discipline, and clarity, you have to start with your words. You have to speak what you seek every morning, before the emails, before the chaos, before you give your energy to anything or anyone. Your voice needs to set the tone, because if you don't declare who you are, the world will decide it for you. This isn't about standing in front of a mirror chanting empty affirmations. This is about leading yourself with your language. It's about using your voice as a weapon for clarity and confidence. It's about speaking on purpose. Most people wake up and immediately start narrating doubt. I'm so tired. This day is going to be stressful. I've got so much to do, I'll never get it all done. They don't even realize they're giving their mind a script for chaos. They're feeding themselves a reality they don't even want, and then they wonder why their life feels out of alignment. If you want to create change, you have to speak change. If you want to lead your day, your business, your team, your life, you start by leading your own inner dialogue. The words you speak are not just reflections of your mindset, they are instructions to your mindset. You're not just hoping for confidence, you're commanding it. When you wake up and say out loud, I am focused, I do hard things, I make powerful decisions, I lead with clarity. You're not pretending, you're programming. Your mind hears your voice and starts looking for ways to prove those statements true. That's how the brain works. It listens to the words you speak and filters reality to align with them. So the more often you speak strength, vision, and discipline, the more you become the person who lives that way. But it doesn't happen by accident. It happens through repetition. Speaking what you seek has to become part of your morning standard. Just like brushing your teeth, just like moving your body, it's a non-negotiable, because every time you speak intentionally, you're building your internal identity, and identity drives behavior. Think about it. It's easier to act like a leader when you've already spoken. I lead with confidence. It's easier to stay disciplined when you've declared, I follow through. It's easier to stay focused when you've said, I protect my energy. This isn't magic, it's muscle memory. The more often you speak your values, your goals, and your identity, the more automatic it becomes to live them. But most people don't do this. Why? Because it feels awkward, because it feels cheesy, because they don't want to sound silly, saying things out loud when no one's listening. Let me be really clear, your mind is always listening. You have to be willing to look foolish in your growth if you want to look powerful in your results. You're not speaking for anyone else's approval, you're speaking for your own alignment. You're speaking to remind yourself of who you are, what you want, and what kind of standard you're setting for the day ahead. And once you get consistent with this, it changes everything. You stop needing external motivation because you're generating internal momentum. You stop doubting your voice in the boardroom because you've trained yourself to own it every morning. You stop shrinking in hard conversations because your identity is already rooted in strength. This isn't about fake confidence. It's about building real confidence through consistency, repetition, and alignment. So what should you say? You say the truth, the future truth, not where you are, but where you're going, not how you feel, but how you choose to show up. If you want clarity, say, I think clearly and trust my decisions. If you want discipline, say, I follow through no matter how I feel. If you want peace, say, I move with calm, focused energy. If you want to lead, say, I speak with confidence and purpose. You're not lying to yourself. You're leading yourself because leadership doesn't begin when you walk into your office or join the Zoom call. It begins when you wake up and open your mouth. What you say sets the course. Your voice is your first act of authority every day. And here's the best part, the more you speak it, the more you believe it, and the more you believe it, the more your behavior matches. That's alignment, that's confidence, that's how you master your mindset from the inside out. So stop waiting to feel ready, stop waiting to feel inspired. Start speaking like the person you're becoming. You can whisper it, you can write it, you can shout it. Just do it on purpose, because the most powerful version of you is already inside. You just have to speak her into action. No more accidental language, no more self-sabotage in disguise. Say what you seek, say it clearly, say it boldly, say it every morning until it becomes your new standard. Discipline doesn't start at noon. Strength doesn't show up halfway through your day. Mental mastery begins the moment you open your eyes, and the fastest way to build it is by doing one hard thing early. Why? Because hard things rewire your brain. They train you to lean into resistance instead of avoiding it. They build a foundation of follow through, and that foundation compounds. Here's the truth. Most people are trying to protect their comfort before 9 a.m. They want ease, they want flow, they want their morning to feel good, but the people who actually win in life, in business, in leadership, they use their morning to set a mental tone that says, I do hard things whether I feel like it or not. The first hard thing of the day doesn't need to be a marathon. It just needs to cost you something. It needs to require your focus, your energy, your willpower. It needs to be something you'd normally avoid. That could mean tackling the uncomfortable email. It could mean 30 minutes of focused writing when your brain wants to wander. It could mean a cold shower when you'd rather linger in comfort. It could mean waking up at 5 a.m. When 6 feels easier. It doesn't matter what the hard thing is. What matters is that you choose it, you face it, you finish it, and when you do, something powerful happens. Your brain gets the message, I keep my promises, I can handle pressure, I move toward challenge, not away from it. That's not just self-help talk, that's neuroscience. Every time you complete something difficult, especially when you didn't want to, your brain builds evidence that you are someone who finishes things. That evidence builds identity, and your identity drives behavior. If you start the day avoiding discomfort, you're more likely to keep avoiding it. You'll procrastinate, you'll hesitate, you'll say, I'll do it later, 10 times before the afternoon even hits. But if you start the day doing something hard, on purpose, everything else becomes easier by comparison. This is about creating momentum, mental edge, internal alignment, and let's be honest, that hard thing you're putting off, it's already draining your energy. The more you avoid it, the heavier it gets. It clutters your mind, it steals your focus, it makes everything else feel harder than it is. So stop negotiating with it. Stop giving it power, do it first, because when you knock out that one hard thing in the morning, something shifts in your posture. You feel taller, you feel clearer, you feel like, okay, if I handled that, I can handle the rest of the day. This is what leaders do. They don't wait for pressure to force them into action. They choose pressure early. They choose challenge before comfort. They don't need the world to push them. They push themselves. It's not about proving something to anyone else. It's about proving something to yourself. This is where your confidence is built, not in success, but in self-confrontation, not in results, but in your willingness to take the first swing when most people are still sitting on the sidelines. And here's the thing, the hard thing changes, it evolves. Some mornings, the hardest thing might be getting out of bed at your alarm. Other days, it might be the phone call you don't want to make. Some days, it's your workout. Other days, it's sitting still with your thoughts. Whatever it is, don't overthink it. Just find it and face it, because the discipline to do one hard thing early becomes the discipline to do everything else when it matters most. And that's what you're training for, not just a great morning, but a great life. A life where you don't need external deadlines to move. A life where you don't crumble when things get uncomfortable. A life where you can trust yourself to follow through, no matter the mood, the resistance, or the fear. Most people think confidence is a feeling. It's not. Confidence is a reputation you build with yourself. And that reputation is built in those early moments when no one is watching, when it's just you and the decision to either face the discomfort or postpone it again. The people who grow fast, the people who rise, the people who lead, those people aren't more talented. They're just more trained. They've trained their minds to associate challenge with power, and it all starts with that one hard thing, early, before the excuses, before the distractions, before the fear can talk you out of it. So, what's the hard thing you're avoiding right now? Write it down, circle it, commit to doing it first thing tomorrow morning. Don't wait for motivation. Don't try to feel ready. Start ugly. Start imperfect. Just start, because if you can build the habit of doing one hard thing early, your brain will start to expect success, your identity will shift, your energy will multiply, your standards will rise, and your results. They'll reflect all of it, so stop asking for an easier morning. Start choosing a harder one, because the harder choice now creates the stronger version of you later, and that version, that's the one who wins.